For you, do you feel like you turned to pills and all of that to also manage the pain of what you guys were putting your bodies through?
Oh, yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, why it initially first started for me. But even Jeff, Jeff just still, still to this day does so much crazy stuff. And that the whole reason I started, different characters and different personas were so I could kind of lessen on the athletic standpoint and the physical abuse of my body and be more of a theoretic, a lot of more of a theatrical character, obviously. Mm-hmm. But with Jeff, I know earlier on when he first left WWE, that's where he was still having issues. I was straight and narrow for the longest time, even so much. We were both, when we first started in WWE, didn't drink. We didn't do anything. We're both on the straight and narrow. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of the old timers and the veterans made fun of us because of it, right. But in 07, 08, that time after I'd had about 10 years there, we had done so many matches and even on top of doing those matches that we were talking about, the ladder matches, table matches, steel seat matches, cage matches, just being on that road and on grueling schedule day in and day out and not sleeping appropriately and just taking bumps every night in and night out. It's not healthy. It's not what the human body is meant to do. But eventually when it kind of came to a point where I was having issues and I was at a point where I couldn't really take off because I was in kind of a spot and a slot that was good and it was going to continue to get better. That's where it starts, just so that you can kind of get through the match. There's a muscle relaxer and then there's a pain pill, and that allows you to kind of get through, and then you can try and heal up over the weekend and then go at it again next week, or whatever it may be, but that's where it initially starts. And I think, and then you get to a point, if you get frustrated in life, once you kind of get into a cloud of pharmaceuticals or whatever it is, it's you almost kind of oh, well, I just don't want to feel bad anymore. I want to feel good, and that's where it becomes a real issue. It's the whole thing with pain pills and pain medication and managing pain with that, in that manner. If you're someone who is in constant pain, is a very, very slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how was it for you though? Because you were saying, Jeff actually turned to that before you, and here you are watching him, you're in the straight and narrow. How hard was that being the older brother and did, have conversations with him and you weren't getting through to him?
It was terrifying. And I remember then, even back then, I think his, I think some of his recreational stuff expanded a little past pain medication. So it was almost like pain medication was a standard, and you would see it a lot. You would see it very often in the industry back then, and for Jeff to be out of that norm, I think it was even more frightening, so I was just I'll do whatever I can to help, but I am worried about you. I remember we had those talks many, many nights.